Hey up everyone, Magpie Gaming here, I hope you're all doing well. So in this video I just wanted to give you a quick impressions of the 12.4 patch, my impressions of it really. And I've got to say that there wasn't as much in this patch as I thought there was going to be. It was bigged up as being quite a big patch I think, but it's not really got a great amount in it. But there are some changes in it that are quite big towards how we play the game. So first and foremost I'm going to say about the new gear and the new items, I haven't really seen too much of them. I've seen a new, is it the Slick Plate Carrier, which is a new armour that you can get level 6, only covers the thorax though. I tend not to bother with things that only cover the thorax because I don't really think it gives you that much protection. You're only going to cover one part of your body. What's the point of spending all that money on something if that's all it's going to cover, especially when you can spend a similar amount of money and maybe get the Zircon 6 armour, which gives you stomach protection as well. So I've kind of stayed away from that. I mean, I'll pick them up if my armour in raid is buggered and I need a new armour and somebody that I've killed is, you know, theirs is quite well intact, then I'd probably pick it up, but it isn't something that I will purchase for my PMC myself. Other items and other mods, haven't really seen too much of those. I mean, I've played a fair few hours over the weekend, but I haven't really gone all out looking for these new things. They're kind of, you know, mods and attachments are things that you get round to get into when you go to build that specific weapon that they have, and I already had quite a glut of weapons built and ready to go, so I haven't really built any new ones over the weekend and used any of these new mods, but I'm sure that there are a lot of new ones out there. Secondly, interchange, the changes that have been made to that map. Now, I only played it once. I had one roughly 30-minute raid on there, and I've got to say that I quite like the new lighting. It gives a new sort of atmosphere to interchange. Before, interchange was very dank and dark. Every shop was pitch black, there was no lights, there was no nothing. Now a lot of the shops are lit up. They look really good. I think it adds a lot of character to the map. You've got the arcade machines and the little radon machines outside some of the stores. I think the arcade machines are a little bit too loud when you stood near them. You're not really going to hear anything else while you stood right next to them, so I think the sound on those should be toned down a little bit. But I like the fact that they're all lit up and making a little bit of music. I think it's really good. It adds a lot of atmosphere to the map. Obviously the alarm systems that go off when certain stores are entered, I think there's one on Tech Light and I think there's another one on this new medical room that you can unlock with a key. I've got to say that is too loud for me. It does add atmosphere, but this alarm going off the way it does is really annoying, and I think it'll wind a lot of people up. Whether or not I'd want them to tone it down though, because as I say, it does add a bit of atmosphere to the game, I'm not sure. I mean, they do go off eventually, but it takes a while, and it's just a really annoying sound. But I guess mimicking, you know, a realistic situation where a store is broken into and you've got an alarm going off, then it's very good at that because it's loud, and they would be loud in real life. Next we get to the stamina changes. Obviously your upper and lower body have had their stamina split. You don't have one stamina bar no more, you have a stamina bar for your arms and one for your legs. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, definitely, but I kind of like it. I like the fact that you could run and wear out your stamina, you know, the lower body stamina, but still have stamina to ADS if you needed to. So I think in some situations you're going to be able to run away and then ADS at a target that you may be trying to get away from, or maybe somebody that you're trying to catch up with. So I like that. I like the fact that it's split. It's just going to take some getting used to. We're not used to having split stamina, we're used to just having one bar for all. So yeah, it's going to take a little while to get used to, but the leg stamina does tie in with your overweight mechanic, which is the other mechanic that was introduced. So once you go over 40 kilos in weight in the game, you are classed as overweight, and obviously once you start to walk around overweight, that will start to add to your endurance and your strength skills. Before that, I don't think you can really add anything to either of those skills. I know that throwing grenades and ADSing will build up your strength slowly, but I think it really does start to get a boost once you're doing this and your PMC is overweight. Once you get, I think it's up to 50 kilos and above, your overweight status will start to affect your leg stamina, so even walking will start to drain your stamina. Realistic in a way, because obviously the more weight you was to carry in real life, the more your stamina would drain, but this is definitely going to take some getting used to. At its heart, Escape from Tarkov is a looter shooter. The more loot you can get out, the more money you make, and that's kind of one of the main aims of the game. Now you're going to have to manage your stamina with you know, the amount of loot that you want to get out of a raid. So in one raid the other day, I'd picked up quite a few weapons. I had a car battery, I had a lion statue, and my character was really struggling. It was at the point where I had to walk all the way from dorms, all the way to Crossroads Extract, and I couldn't run. If I was to run, my stamina just drained way too fast. I just had to walk all the way there. So obviously walking with all that loot, you're a sitting target for a lot of players out there. So I can see there being a split between those people that want to get a lot of loot out and those people that want to hunt the people that have got the loot. If you go in with a very light setup, you can move a lot quicker than these people can. So there's going to be a trade-off between how well armoured you want to be and how much loot you want to get out versus how little armour you want to wear and how light a weapon you want to take. You know, you could go in, you can move a lot faster than these guys now. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration with the game now. It's going to take a while to get used to some of these changes. Obviously Battlestate are still tweaking the overweight mechanic. To begin with, being 30 kilos above was adding you as overweight. They changed that to 40 kilos. I think what they need to do is they need to pick the heaviest loadout that somebody could have before going into a raid, and they need to start that as the point that you're overweight. I think 40 kilos is maybe a little bit too low. I mean, an average loadout for me is starting at around 35 kilos to 38 kilos, so there isn't much room for maneuver when it comes to me getting loot and being overweight. But that is an average loadout, you know, a armoured vest, a rig, a gun, a helmet, contacts, you know, ammunition, a bag, some water, some medication, and then I'm already nearly overweight. So as soon as I start to even get a little bit of loot out, I'm looking at being overweight within the game. So, but as I say, between 40 and 50 doesn't really affect you too much, and then after 50 kilos it does start to kick in quite hard. So yeah, I like it. It's to a sense. I think it does add a bit of realism to the game, but they need to be very careful with this mechanic. If they take it too far, it's going to kill this realism vibe. I mean, realism's good, but you want to have fun at the same time, and too much realism equals not much fun, so they just need to strike a balance with it. But when it comes to zeroing endurance and strength and adding this overweight mechanic, I think these are changes that should have been done when we had a wipe. Introducing them between wipes I think was a bit of a mistake, and also you've got the mechanic of new players can't access the flea market until they're level 10. So all of these changes I think are pushing people to run very, very light loadouts. People under level 10 are going to struggle to get access to certain things, so they can only run light loadouts anyway, unless they manage to cap somebody that's got a half decent loadout and take that off them. These people that don't really want to be overweight are going to run lighter loadouts as well. So I think you're going to see a lot more Mosin guys, to be fair, running probably zero armour and just running around with a Mosin and some ammo in the pocket and chancing it against the thick boys, which goes against a lot of what we believe Battlestate have been trying to do over the last few months. They've been trying to quell the Mosin guys, quell the hatchet runners, but they seem to be pushing it back into their realm at the moment, which doesn't really make sense to me. Now, I do know, before anybody out there goes, well, it's a beta, what do you expect? They're going to test things. Yes, I know it's a beta, but it's also a beta that we've paid for and want to enjoy every day. So yes, I understand they have to test new things, but as I say, these things would have been fine after a wipe, because it would have been a level playing field. As the game is right now, it's a very uneven playing field, and it's very unfair to new players that come in. It's going to put a lot of new players off ever bothering with the game, or bothering with the game until there is a wipe, of which we don't know when that's going to happen yet. May, June, July, who the fuck knows. So I do think that it was a mistake to add these mechanics right now. I think they should have left them out and they should have waited. But that's just my humble opinion. Some people will agree with me, some people won't. That is fine. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of these changes. As I say, I like the mechanics overall. I think they just need a little bit more tweaking to make them a little bit more enjoyable. And I understand you have to have them for realism vibes, but you know, like I say, too much realism, it's going to kill the fun. Interchange, I love the way Interchange looks right now, and I'm looking forward to playing more on that map. I think they've done some great work on it, and it looks really good. It doesn't look as dank and dark as it used to, which is a big bonus, because the darkness of it before used to put me off playing it, to be quite honest. I'm more inclined to play it now, so yeah, it does look quite good. There is a new exfil on Interchange. I didn't get as far as seeing that in the one raid that I played over the weekend, because I got absolutely annihilated by a good squad on there. So yeah, that's my impressions of 12.4 up to now. As I say, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this. Are you enjoying the changes? Do you think they're killing the game? Let me know your opinion opinions. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.